Ahoj všichni, veselý Velikonoce, a happy Easter. In this video, I want to share with you the differences of how we celebrate Easter in America versus how it's celebrated in Czech Republic. I'm Katrina Zurish, an American living in České Budějovice, Czech Republic, and you're watching Checking with Katrina. Let's start with the Easter Bunny. Although America is a very Christian nation, with many people claiming to believe in Jesus Christ as the Messiah, there is a trend to really secularize the holiday. Therefore, we have the Easter Bunny. And supposedly the Easter Bunny, just like Santa Claus, hops all around and goes into every house and leaves an Easter basket for every child in every home. It's really just a copy of Santa Claus to secularize the holiday.
You have won the right to be official Chief Easter Bunny.
Comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. The hippity-hopping Easter's on its way.
Another thing you'll find in America, which is strange, is a lot of churches will actually have the Easter Bunny come to church on Easter morning. Crazy, I know, I grew up with it. The Easter Bunny came to church on Sunday morning. The Easter Bunny still comes to many churches on Sunday morning. I know it's weird, but it's just the way it is. They kind of mix both the secular traditions with the religious traditions, but I don't really like it because I think a lot of kids miss out on what Easter really means when you're bringing the Easter Bunny to church. But anyhow, it's what happens. In Czech Republic, they don't have the Easter Bunny. They call Easter for what it is. It's the day Christ died on the cross and rose from the dead. However, since the communist reign, most Czech people are atheists. But even though they're atheists, they recognize Easter for what it is, and they celebrate Easter mostly because it's tradition. Let's move on to the egg. Now, if you watch my Czech word of the day and saw the episode of the Czech word of the day being vejce, which is egg, you'll know that the symbol of the egg in Easter actually came from pagans. For thousands of years, it was a pagan symbol of fertility during all the spring festivals that they had. However, when the Catholics brought a bunch of pagans into their religion and they wanted to compromise a little bit because they wanted their eggs still and they still wanted to do spring festivals, the Catholics brought the egg in as part of Easter and said, okay, you can have your egg when we celebrate Easter. So ever since then, the egg has been a large symbolism of Easter. Now, so in America, we like our stuff quick, simple, easy, gotta have it like that. So in America, we take an egg, we boil it in some water, we dip it in some bowl of dye, pull it out, and we have these beautiful colored Easter eggs that we think are gorgeous and our children are all proud of. Then we hide them all over the house, depending on the weather. You just never know, at least in Michigan where I'm from, you never know if it's going to be warm or if it's going to be cold. If it's warm outside, we hide the eggs outside, just in case the kids forget one and then they rot. But if there's snow on the ground, which happens plenty of Easters, we hide the eggs inside, and then a lot of parents will write down where they put them so one doesn't get left behind. And the kids wake up and they go on their Easter egg hunt and they find their eggs, and then they have them for breakfast. In Czech Republic, a little bit different from what I've seen. Granted, if you do something different, let me know. But I can only tell you what I've seen in the part of Czech Republic where I live and how my husband's family celebrates it. Czech people take deep pride and spend a lot of time and make their eggs absolutely gorgeous. And then they keep them most of the time, as long as they can until they break. So what they do so that they don't rot is they poke little holes in the egg. They take a white egg, and from my understanding during communism, white eggs were difficult to come by, so they really tried hard to find them, and if they couldn't, they just worked harder on dyeing their eggs. But anyways, they take an egg and they poke a hole on either end, which I don't buy white eggs either, even though they're easier to come by in the States, but anyways, I have an egg, and they take a needle, and what they do is they poke a hole on both sides. Let me step a little closer for you. They poke a hole there, and they poke a hole there, and they stick the needle all the way through the yolk. It's got to puncture the yolk, and then they blow it out, and they blow out all the insides until it's hollow on the inside. Crazy, huh? Seems like a lot of work. I'm gonna give it a try for you. Let's hope I don't break the shell. I was told it had to be very gentle, but I don't feel like I'm very gentle right now, and it's not cracking. I buy fresh farm eggs, no antibiotics, no hormones, and I understand the shell is a lot harder in those eggs. The cheap white eggs you get from the store. Oh, that's the other thing in communism, the white eggs were more expensive too. But anyways, the cheap white eggs you get from the store that have a bunch of antibiotics and hormones in them from the chickens, the softer shells. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. This thing is not budging. Let me go get a knife. Maybe it'll work with a knife. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so I've got a knife here. Let's see if the knife works better. Please don't. Ooh, it is working. And it's not breaking. Do you see the hole? Yeah, see it there? Okay, let's try the other side. Getting a hole there too. Try to make it just a little bit bigger. So, all right, let's pop that yolk. See if we can pop that yolk. Stick it in both ways. Can you all see what I'm doing here? Okay, I'm gonna turn y'all to the grass because I don't want to blow it out on my I want to blow it where people aren't gonna walk on my yard here. All right, let's try here. Let's see. I don't think it's working. There's really nothing coming out. There's like a drop trying to come out. See that drop? Yeah, I heard if you have like those little tiny straws like they use at coffee shops, that you could like stick that in there and it works better. This is crazy. Yeah, I'm not doing any good. There's literally just a little tiny drop trying to come out. Anyhow, if I can get that out, then we'll see. I'm gonna try to poke a bigger hole here for my blowing. Ooh, I think I almost broke it. Now it's hanging on quite good. I don't know what these people do. I don't know how these Czechs get this done, but I've just created quite a big hole there. That might be too big. Now my egg might totally break, but I'm gonna prop this baby up and hope that it drains all on its own, because I'm American and I just don't have the patience for this. However, I did paint eggs one day, or not paint them, I did, yeah, the wax thing that Czechs do. So let me get on with that. I got this candle that's been sitting outside, and I'm just gonna set this egg right there and set it aside and hope that it drains. I don't know, maybe. So after the Czechs blow out all the icky stuff from their egg, then what they do is they heat up wax, and then they take a needle that has the head on the end and they stick that in the tip of a pencil, and then they take it and dip it in the wax and they just color all over it with wax. These are the Czech Easter eggs that I painted myself back in 2018. My mother-in-law had already blown out the eggs and then taught me how to paint them with wax. I must say, it was much more fun than simply dropping a boiled egg in colored water. So after the wax dries, then they color them. I have some here. So if you can see these pretty beautiful designs that you can make on these eggs, and they have some gorgeous ones like you wouldn't believe. And then they sell them in the Easter markets. They have Easter markets just like Christmas markets, so those who don't want to make their own, because it's quite time consuming and you have to be talented. It's not like just dropping the egg in a bowl of dye. This one with the egg, you can see it's a real egg with the hole in it, and it's painted with wax and then dropped in dye. That's how their eggs look versus our just colored boiled eggs that you eat. Next, we'll move on to baranek. I grew up in America and nobody I know actually makes a baranek, but it's a cake made in the shape of a lamb. I have never seen any household have one in the States. However, in the last probably 5 years, I've seen them sold in stores. So I think it's becoming a thing in the States, and it wasn't really much of a thing before then. I don't think people really make them, they just buy them. But in Czech Republic, most people have the mold. It's a pan in the shape of a lamb. It's a homemade recipe, and they make this cake out of it, and then they put a ribbon around it and some powdered sugar, and it represents the lamb, which is a great idea since most of here in America, people just buy a chocolate Easter bunny. It's wonderful in Czech Republic that they make a lamb because Easter is all about the Lamb of God, Jesus dying on the cross and raising from the dead. And they know that in Czech Republic, and that's why they make a lamb. Secondly, a lot of people try to eat lamb on Easter, which don't really do here in the States either. We don't usually eat lamb meat. Dinner consists of anything. Sometimes we made rabbit, sometimes we made duck, sometimes we made chicken. Whatever you decide to make, or you go out to eat. Now, we also celebrate Passover Seder, and if Passover falls on Easter, then we have our Easter dinner and our Seder dinner at the same time. So we eat lamb at Seder, of course. And if you're interested in Seder and you speak Czech, you can go to this video here, and it tells you all about Seder. There's this one where I try to tell you about Seder in my broken Czech, and then there's this one where my husband really tells you about Seder in his proper Czech. So you can learn all about that and why we celebrate both, and how Christ is represented in Seder and how Jesus Christ is the Passover lamb. If you only speak English, Google it. It's all over Google. And that's really about it for America. We wake up to an Easter basket that was supposedly brought by the Easter bunny, and you color the Easter eggs, you hide the Easter eggs, you eat the Easter eggs for breakfast, you go to church, and Easter bunny shows up at church, and most of the time there's another Easter egg hunt at church, and then you usually go to your family's house for dinner. One time we made rabbit. It was really funny. My husband's granddaughter was about 3 years old, and her dad told her that Bobby cooked the Easter bunny for Easter dinner, and she started crying, and then I was like, no, it's not the Easter bunny, honey, it's not the Easter bunny. And then her dad said, no, it's not the Easter bunny, but it is his cousin.
What's up, Dad?
So what you gonna do? In Czech Republic, I don't really know if people go to church on Easter because my husband's family doesn't go to church on Easter. They didn't even have a huge Easter dinner, so I'm not really sure what they do. My husband and I would just get up and go to church ourselves, and a lot of times I wanted to go to a Catholic church because I've never been to a Catholic church. So when we were in Czech Republic, I wanted to go to a Catholic church, and they're big and they're beautiful with all the stained glass windows, but of course I didn't understand anything being said, but it was still nice to go. In Czech Republic, they have Easter Monday, so we don't have that here. Easter's one day for us. I mean, we have Good Friday, and a lot of times, Good Friday is just a half day of school. If it's not a half day of school, a lot of times parents will pull their kids out of school to go to Good Friday church service, and the school's fine with it. It's an excused absence. So we have Good Friday, and then we just have Sunday of Easter. They have Easter Monday in Czech Republic. I'm not sure why. I heard one person claim that it was because she believed Jesus actually rose on Monday, which the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says after Sabbath ended, the first day of the week, that they went to the tomb and found him alive. So he obviously rose on a Sunday, but I really don't know why they have Easter Monday. But it's a holiday, and the banks are closed, and people don't go to work, and that's the day they do Pomlázka. But the last thing I want to talk about is Pomlázka. So that's also a Czech tradition, and it's actually quite a controversial tradition for people who aren't Czech. Most Czechs don't find it controversial. It's just all good fun, and it's part of what they do. But when non-Czechs learn about this tradition, the Pomlázka, they kind of get freaked out. They're like, what the heck? Why are they doing that?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So what it is they take the young branches of a willow tree, and the men make a whip out of them. Yes, that's what I said, a whip. So it's young branches and they twine them together, braid them together and make a whip. And then they chase around the girls on Easter Monday and they whip them. Now, most men do it lightly and it's all good, clean fun, and they don't try to hurt the woman. Obviously, you're gonna have some stupid young teenagers, you know, 14-year-old boys who think it's funny to try to hurt them and do it a little hard. So that's not fun for girls, but that's what they do. Now, after they whip them, the women give them money or they give them candy. If they're of age, sometimes they give them a shot of Slivovitze, or they give them an egg that they painted as a present. So the women thank them for getting whipped and give them a present.
Whip it good, you must whip it.
A lot of times they'll tie a ribbon around the Pomlázka, so how many ever ribbons the person has on their Pomlázka is how many women they whipped. Now, the reason the women want to be whipped is because it represents youth, fertility, and beauty. So if they got whipped and how many more times they got whipped, then all the more chances of being granted for the rest of the year until next Easter, they're granted youth and fertility and beauty. Now, let's check my egg. No, it hasn't drained one bit. It's just sitting there with that little drop on it. I don't know, apparently, I don't know how to drain it. I can try one more time for y'all. Oh, I figured it out. Apparently, you really gotta wrap your lips around that thing so the air doesn't go out the sides of your mouth and actually goes into the egg. I'm getting it. Almost there. Alright, so I'm not sure how you know, like, when you got it all. I think that's about it. I mean, I keep, like, you see what I'm doing here? It feels pretty empty, pretty light and empty. I don't know if they, like, rinse it, like run water through it, or you just let it dry like that. I'm not really sure, but I did it. I'm quite proud of myself. I become more and more like a Czech every day. Tak, příští den, happy Easter! If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button.